Geetanjali and Shilpa, thank you so much for joining us. Please introduce yourselves fully and tell us about your work and tell us about the workshop that we're about to have with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, for accepting our proposal and allowing us to create the space over here. And so my name is Geetanjali Shetty Kaul, and I create space for people to share their stories. Along with me is Shilpa, who's also a compassionate communicator, and she allows people also to share space and tell their stories. So we work in restorative spaces. We work in the space of healing and curating stories to cure. That's us, and you can look at our website, and we have an organization of which is called as a community of storytellers. So we have a lot of work that happens around literacy skills, around developing people. So a lot of storytellers collaborate with us in our work. So we've got, channeling and growth happening in the sphere of storytelling. And we are based out of Mumbai. So that's about me. Shilpa, would you like to say something about yourself?
Yes, hello everybody, and thank you, Eric, for this beautiful space, this platform for us to share and listen to stories. And so yes, as Geetanjali already mentioned, I'm a co-member of Secret Passages and have been actively working with Secret Passages and Geetanjali for the last 5 years. And stories and the Secret Passage meditation has been healing, and it's our small initiative to spread this magic and bring it to people and share it with the community.
So I think we deep dive and jump into the program, and we are excited, Shilpa and I both. So we ring this bell. It's opening towards the program. I request all of you to travel with me to a time when you were born. So let's go back to the time when you were born, and you have to write it on your journal. The sentence begins like this: on the day I was born. On the day I was born, some animals migrated. On the day I was born, some bells rang in temples and churches. On the day I was born, a circle of singing people sang beautiful songs. On the day I was born, if it was night, the moon was glowing, right? And the stars were glittering. On the day I was born, if it was day, the sun was glowing. On the day I was born, trees were growing bit by bit. On the day I was born, a soft breeze came. Tide was rising, and if it was monsoon, then yes, showers of rain were falling. On the day I was born. So if you have, any particular festival that happened on the day you were born, if you had your cousins born on the same day, if you have, some kind of family or union happening around the day, so mention it. On the day I was born. I just want you to take all of you to go back to the time when you were born. And you can also write it down over here, on the day I was born. If you have anything standing out in your thoughts on the day I was born, you can put it up here. On the day you were born, like on the day I was born, it was Jamnashtami. It was also the birth of Lord Krishna. On the day I was born. I repeat, on the day I was born, some animals migrated. On the day I was born, some bells rang in temples and churches around the world. On the day I was born, a circle of singing people sang across the world in different languages. On the day I was born, the trees were also growing bit by bit. Soft breeze came, there was rising tide, and the entire earth community came together on the day I was born. If it was night, the moon was glowing. If it was night, the stars were glittering. If it was day, then the sun was shining bright. On the day I was born, some flowers were blooming and blossoming. Some butterflies were fluttering. On the day I was born, it was indeed a special day. I hope all of you are with me now. On the day I was born. Yeah, if you all want to type something here, on the day I was born. Shalini says, on the day I was born, there was joy in my parents' heart. Yes, yes, that is a beautiful one. On the day I was born, there was joy in my parents' heart. Dawn was breaking. Nivedita says, on the day I was born, it was Diwali and my parents celebrated Lakshmi coming home. Janice says, on the day I was born, the sun and stars shone side by side. It's a good one. On the day I was born. Soumya says, on the day I was born, I was loved by my family. Alison, she says, on the day I was born, my sister leaped with joy, my parents cried with joy. Wonderful. Oh, what a wonderful moment it was on the day I was born. We'll wait for a couple of more feelings coming in on the day I was born. Pratibha says, on the day I was born, the entire country was traveling down the memory lane of country's independence and unfurling the tricolor. What an auspicious day. Pallavi says, on the day I was born, the raindrops also came out of the womb of clouds. Wow. On the day I was born, that's nice. Nivedita writes, on the day I was born, the time I was born, I had the energy of the setting sun and the calming effect of the rising moon. Dikabali says, on the day I was born, Dhanur Masam starts. I think there's a break. Dhanur Masa starts in Tamil Nadu and India. Tirupavi, yeah, it's a time when a particular season begins. That was the day when Digavali was born. Padmashri says, on the day I was born, Noam Chomsky was celebrating his birthday. Powerful day. Nandita says, on the day I was born, people were shouting Ganpati Bappa Moria as Ganesha was taken home. Gayatri says, on the day I was born, it was Purnima and the moon was full. And it was Brahma Muhurat. Wow. See, she remembers, she's being told that it was a special moment and a special time that she was born. That makes her feel special every moment. On the day I was born, it was Purnima and the moon was full and it was Brahma Muhurat. Is a very good moment of joy to celebrate. And every time I think of the day I was born, I come back to that powerful moment when I was born. So with this feeling of Subhash says, on the day I was born, it was Vijay Dashmi after Dasera, and they thought I had come to be victorious in all my endeavors. Indra says, on the day I was born, everyone happily ate kuzu katai, which because it was Lakshmi Puja, only my mom and I couldn't eat the delicious sweets, but we all ate it now along with you. The day Meena says the day I was born, it was a religious and auspicious days of Paryushan, and ahimsa followed by everyone. Very nice. So she practices non-violence in her style of communication and living. Jyoti Bhatia says, on the day I was born, everyone in the family was very happy. My grandfather was ecstatic, and we went to the Gurudwara to thank the gods for the first bundle of joy. So many memories attached to the day I was born. And even the Earth community came together the day I was born. So it was a special moment and a special time. So to this, we will now walk towards the story that I want to share with all of you. The story comes from Ajahn's diary. Ajahn is a monk who began his Buddhist practice at very early stages of his life. And towards the latter stage, he became an abbot. So the story comes of that time in his diary when the monks were poor and they had just bought a land to build a monastery in the forest. And they had no money to hire a builder, no money to hire skilled people. And at that point of time, the monks had to build their skills. They had to learn plumbing. They had to learn how to make bricks. They had to learn how to make a building. They had to learn everything. And it was a very difficult task. So the monk remembers the time when he began laying his first brick. He was working very hard. It looks very simple, to make a brick and put it next to each other on a line and then lay another one on top in between the cement mortar. But it actually takes a lot of patience. It also takes a lot of measurement. It takes a lot of skills to start, placing and laying those bricks next to each other. So he says whenever he would lay the brick from the left, and then he would move towards the right, he would see that the left side of the brick has come up. And then whenever he would go towards the left side of the brick and then press it a little lower, he would see the right side of it would come up. And then he would keep nudging, 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 and then it would come on a straight line. He would take a lot of time to keep saying if the bricks are on the same line. And with a lot of patience, he would keep laying them, watching them, laying them, watching them. Now, as he was a monk, he had a lot of patience. As he was a monk, he also had that time to watch and do and see how the wall is coming up. And finally, he had completed his first brick wall. He woke up in the morning, he prepared himself to just go and see that first brick wall that he had made. As he went closer and he looked at the brick wall, he noticed that there were two bad bricks, which were inclined in an angle. And these two bad bricks made the entire wall look terrible. As he noticed these two bad bricks, the thought of these two bad bricks spoiling the whole wall began growing. And it started magnifying so much that he now decided that he's going to knock this wall. He went to the abbot and said he has to knock it and make it once again. But the abbot said that the wall has to stay. Months passed and the visitors began visiting the monastery to see the work, to see the construction site. At this point, the monk would show the visitor every part of the monastery, also the wall, but he would hide that part of the wall which had two bad bricks. He never wanted to see that wall in his life. He would turn his back and he would walk. Every time he would look at the wall, he would only look at those two bad bricks. I want all of you to think Which are these two bad bricks that keep coming in your life? And write it down on the paper. Two bad bricks that magnifies. Two bad bricks that hold you from moving on. Anger and ego, yes. Now, even if at this point of time, there's forest monasteries near Perth, if you visit, you will be able to see this wall. The wall is still there. Mistrust, Preeti says, procrastination, expectations. So let's move ahead with the story. After 3 months, there was another visitor who came to see this wall. As the visitor looked at this wall, he said, "What a lovely wall. I've never seen a nice brick wall like this, made out of 1,000 bricks." So Ajahn looked at him and said, "Are you crazy? Are you blind? Are you visually impaired? Have you left your glasses in the car? Don't you see those two bad bricks there?" So the visitor looked at him and said, "I do notice those two bad bricks, but what I see now are the other 998 bricks that make this wall." And it was the first time that Ajahn looked at the other 998 bricks. They were so perfect, so much in alignment, so well placed. Mark of perfection, he thought to himself. And he wondered how he had missed seeing these 1,000 bricks. And he was only noticing those two bad bricks. It was the first time he realized that he was this 1,000 bricks, which was holding the other walls in the monastery. My dear friends, it happens to us many times in our lives, in relationships. We end up saying only those two bad bricks. And we ruin our relationships, right? And we also end up saying, many times people, only see these two bad bricks and they get depressed. And sometimes people also commit suicide because they magnify these thoughts in their mind. Does that happen? So what it takes to see those 1,000 bricks is what we are working towards in this workshop. We would like to guide you how you can look at these 1,000 bricks and not just see those two bad bricks. Ajahn says over a year's time, an architect came to visit the wall, to visit the monastery. And the architect looked at this wall and he said, how this wall is unique and how these two bricks are a design. Monk looked at him and said, "You find these as design?" Architect said, "Yes. Many times builders do make mistakes when they are building a wall, they're building a structure, and we architects show it as a unique feature of that place. And it becomes a design. So we are the architects of our life to bring out our design, what we are made up of." I would like you to take a deep breath and, tell me what is the story telling you right now. If you want to unmute, what part of the story stays with you?
Geetanjali,
Yes, Pratibha.
Okay. So the part of the story, the 998 bricks that we usually don't see. So that part stays with me. And also, I found it really very unusual to point out our mistakes as our uniqueness. So that's the thing that stayed with me. So
Yeah, your mistakes can also become your feature. Yes, Nivedita.
The highlight is like when that gentleman comes and says like, I find this wall beautiful. Till that time, everybody who's come has seen it differently, as a ugly or filled with mistakes or imperfection. But here is a man who is letting go of those 2 bricks and is having a better vision. And I think as human, we should, it's not easy, but we should develop that vision in our relationship, in our life, in our work.
Be able to see the 1,000 bricks. Yes, Alison, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you for that beautiful story. It reminds me a little bit when I had moved back home after being away for a year, and I had seen everything I wanted to do in the house, everything that was imperfect, that needed to be painted. And then when I came back, I just saw all the beauty and everything I loved about it. And so, yeah, I think it's just such a great reminder to appreciate everything we have and really focus on the beauty, because that's more there, or the importance of where we focus too, right? That makes, that determines what it looks like.
Right. So what you're focusing on, Alison, that's a very, very, very pertinent point, and that's the point that we want to look at. What are you focusing on? Yeah, Manisha.
If we are doing 90% good things and 2% not okay things, if we are having perspective equal for both the thing, it is very easy to accept these 2% not okay things. So first we need to accept I'm not perfect. I have done my job with my excellence, but that 2% I could not achieve. It's okay, but I have achieved 98%. That is one point. And always there are these 2% in our lives. But if these 2% are in our control, we can do something about it. If they are not in our control, accept it.
Jenny says to focus on what's working, what's going well. The bad bricks needn't necessarily be bad, for it was beautiful for an architect. So they say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And that the part that stays in is the monk trying to hide the bricks. Yeah, that's the very, very, very crucial part. We all do that, right? All the time. And to find power and strength and the sense of self in the 2 bricks instead of hiding them and feeling ashamed. Marina says that he tries to hide the mistakes that actually is his uniqueness. Moira says, reminds me of the saying, my flaws, they're just special effects. And Revati says, accepting imperfection, also no expectation. Yes, that's where the balance is. So yeah, it often happens in our life that we become our own enemies. We kind of commit acts of sabotage by actually, not looking at what we have. And by doing these acts of sabotage, we are actually pressing our own competences, things that we can do, our own qualities. And it also makes us feel inferior of ourselves. And none of these approaches is actually a part of any spiritual practices. It doesn't help you grow. It doesn't help you evolve. So these are the times and moments of your life that you need to catch your breath and raise your consciousness and adopt a spiritual practice. And look at this mindfully. See how you can make a shift here. So I request all of you from now onwards, instead of saying, I am unorganized, start saying, part of me is unorganized. Instead of saying, I am careless, start saying, part of me is careless. So inside us, there are these contrasting bricks. You see, when you go to the left side, the right one comes up. When you go to the right side, the left one comes up, and you start nudging and bringing that balance. So both of them are in us. Sometimes you're content, sometimes you're ambitious. Sometimes you're organic and sometimes you're planned. So both of them are in you. You need to play a catalyst to bring, you know, the balance between the both and hold it, and also focus on what you want to put attention on. So instead of, the moment I say I am this, I become the whole. But instead of that, if I say part of me is this, I'm able to see the wholeness. So here, you know, I'm inviting all of you to write a poem together. So poem can begin like this. Part of me is content. Part of me is ambitious. Part of me is that the right spelling? Sometimes I'm losing spelling. Is that a spell? Is that the right spelling, Shilpa? Yes, okay. Part of me is careful. So you can all type here. Yes. Part of me is careless. And all of these are a part of me. Part of me is alert, part of me is trusting, part of me is carefree, part of me seeks validation, part of me is disciplined. And all of it is a part of me. Part of me is lazy, part of me is mindful, part of me is procrastinates, part of me procrastinates. Part of me is giving, part of me is frustrated, part of me is calm, part of me is unreal, part of me is creative, and all of them are a part of me. Part of me is satisfied, part of me is accepting, part of me is da-da-da, all of them are a part of me. So how do you feel when you look at a part of you like this? Part of me loves basking in the light. Part of me is scared of the light. Part of me is home. Part of me is still on the lookout. Part of me is all of this. Part of me is all of this. Part of me is that 1,000 brick wall. Part of me is hopeful. Part of me is childlike. Part of me gives up. Part of me is ambitious. And part of me is ... Part of me is part of the universe. Yes. So here we are able to see a part of us when we look at them as parts, and then we also look at them as our 1,000 brick wall. And then we spiritually choose to look at what we want to look at. Part of me is only me. Part of me is divine. Part of me is dirty. Yes. Part of me is divine. Part of me is dirty. Very nice. So it so happens that when we see ourselves in the whole, we also do not want others to see some parts of us, right? Is that happening? We don't want others to see a part of us. So we hide some parts of us. We don't want others to see this part of us. And what happens when you hide? These parts in you become your shadows. and they are your hidden wholeness. And the shadow keeps chasing you wherever you go. So the moment you start acknowledging these parts and you open up and you show everyone these parts of me are a part of me, you become your authentic self. And part of me is, Pallavi says, feels belongingness, and part of me is kind of strange. So I want all of you to look at this part of you which you want to hide, which you're not comfortable showing. And that's your secret self. And you do not acknowledge this part of you. You do not sit with this part of you. You do not want anybody to see this part of you. You keep hiding this part of you, right? So I want all of you to look at this part of you, acknowledge it. And I want you to share this part of you with someone. Your secret part of you with someone. You can wear a mask and share it. You can, have a book in front of you and share it. You can wear, any kind of flowing dupatta and then share it. But start sharing that part of you. So we will be sending you to the breakout room. We are dividing the participants into, so I'll be sending you to the breakout room. You will have 2 or 3 participants here, and you can choose to, start and then choose to share. I'll give 3 minutes each, and you'll have 15 minutes in the breakout room. Any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, let me put it on pause.
Relax yourself, take a deep breath. Observe your breath, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Observe your body, your sensations, how you're feeling inside you. And allow yourself to relax. I'm going to take you on a guided meditation. Imagine yourself walking towards a secret passage meditation door. You ring the bell and the door doesn't open. You keep ringing the bell, you keep going, you keep ringing the bell, and the door doesn't open. And you keep calling out for yourself for a journey to begin. And when you hear a voice that calls you in words, and when the quest becomes deeper and deeper, and you walk towards the secret passage door, the door opens and it welcomes you in words. You hear a voice that calls you, that calls your name. As you walk and walk and walk, you get closer, closer to the voice, and you begin to reclaim your name. And as you go towards the place where the voice is coming, in front of you, you see a large mirror. And you go towards that mirror and you see you. You see every part of you just the way it is. And your voice tells you parts of you that you need to focus on, the 998 parts of you that you need to focus on. And they make you, and they also bring out the features of those two bad bricks. But you need to more focus on yourself that serves you, that helps you grow. As you see yourself the way it is, you see the light inside you glowing, illuminating, and you see your presence. The presence that brings light wherever you go. Whenever you walk on earth, that's the light you want to carry. That's the light you want to give to people who come in your space, in your circle. And you are able to give that loving kindness to everyone who comes in your life. Keep seeing yourself in the mirror and keep seeing every part of you. And keep acknowledging each part of you. And see yourself in the wholeness of you. The more you do this, the more you are able to give light to others. Feel the warmth that you've received from your voice. Walk back home. I hear a voice that calls out my name. I hear a voice that calls out my name. I get closer to the voice. I get closer to the voice. And I reclaim my name. I reclaim my name. I hear a voice that calls out my name. I hear a voice that calls out my name. The closer I get, I reclaim my name. The closer I get, I reclaim my name. I hear a voice that calls out my name. The closer I get, I reclaim my name. Sit relaxed. Breathe in. Slowly breathe out. And slowly open your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I invite my co-facilitator Shilpa to take us on a quest, deeper quest.
Thank you, Geetanjali. And yes, the 1,000-brick wall. Right from the time that we are born to this moment, there have been so many experiences and the situations that we have faced. And through this journey, facing those situations and those experiences, we have formed our own truths and our beliefs. And in the process, that is how we are constructing this 1,000-brick wall, right? So our beliefs, our truths about ourselves is what is making this wall. And now what we are going to do is, we're going to help you develop this help you to develop and work on this 1,000-brick wall. And that we're going to do through journaling. Yes, journaling, which will give us more clarity. And it also gives us a space to express ourselves, a space where I can, feel, be myself. I can discover, I can dream, I can think, and I can grow. So we have pondered through, these questions, and we bring these questions to you to help you journal, give you some direction so that we can work on our 1,000 brick wall, and we can dive deep into ourselves and work on ourselves and look within. So here are these questions which we have for you. And so the first question goes, just try to recollect and remember a point in your life, that signal moment when you felt it was your calling, or it was your character, it was you. So that's the first question, and we can think, ponder our calling, our character, when you really felt that was you. And the second question. The second question is a point in your life when you accepted yourself completely, just completely. And what made this realization happen? So I'm posting the questions in the chat window also. So recollecting that signal moment, that aha moment, when you felt that was your calling, that was you. Time when you accepted yourself completely, and what made this realization happen? So these are few questions we have pondered on to help you develop and work on the 1,000 brick wall. So anybody has any questions, anything to share, anything to ask before we come up with the our closure question and our closing verse? We are open to take up questions and your ideas, sharings. Yes, Nivedita.
The first question would take some time. The second also, acceptance, I don't think is complete. The journey has just begun. I'm speaking for personally. But the third element, that is, see what made this realization happen, that the time has come where I accept myself the way I am, or dive deep in to discover furthermore. This realization happened very recently. And this realization happened with helplessness of not having the ability to change the circumstances or situations, however hard you tried. In fact, yesterday's Marina's story, she ended in last saying that be in that darkness. Sometimes it's better to be in that darkness and wait for that light to fall in, because at times you just can't find the path, how much ever you try. So that's the time when you need to accept. That acceptance has to come in for you to survive, to be at peace. So the other two are a quest, which I'm on the path. The third element is something which is setting in.
Lovely, lovely sharing. And truly, Nivedita, as you said, We understand the importance of light only when we are in darkness. The same way, sometimes we are put in such situations that, the best in us comes out then. So it is in those moments, how we accept ourselves and, with our weaknesses, with our strengths, and come out of it. Okay. Thank you, Nivedita.
And if I can just add secret passages, especially Geetanjali, known her for some time, and she's listening to her, doing her workshops, and it's her knowledge, it's her teaching to an extent, and it is her help which is helping me to cope this and helping me to come to this realization. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for receiving. You're actually observing your 998 bricks, and that's why you've come to me. So are there any other quest or any other thoughts that is coming? Or you can keep singing the song that I sang. The song can keep coming to you. I hear a voice that calls out my name. I hear a voice that calls out my name. The closer I get, I reclaim my name. The closer I get, I reclaim my name. So we've come towards the closing, and Secret Passages, we conduct many more healing circles, safe spaces. We conduct workshops where people do share their personal stories. I have been touched, and I've also seen the light coming in while people are sharing their personal stories. And when they finish sharing their personal journey, their personal story, I see a therapeutic experience happening, and I see the light coming around them. And that space becomes sacred. So you also must have observed, right, in your life, and when people share freely their truth, the space becomes sacred. And so we need to create more spaces for deep speaking and deep listening, and create circle of trust. Okay, I think Shilpa, everybody is finding some peace within, or maybe they're busy with the next program coming in, next story coming in. So we could close with our last question, most important question for all of you to look at. I would call this a celebration question to go back home with.
Yes, and the question is, how do I love my parents, my siblings, my students, my fellow beings, my neighbors? How is it that I love them, and what it takes to love? What does it take to love others?
So we close our circle with a closing verse. You put your right hand on your left hand like this. You place your right hand on the left hand like this. Birds in the air, fishes in the pond, stones on the land. I am in my hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
I'm thinking about this question. What does it take to love the people in our lives? You know, first, one has to feel able to love. You know, able to exist and worthy of existing. then of course, loving others, we have to appreciate what they can give us and not demand more than that, or try not to demand too much more than that. That's my answers for that.
So yeah, I think it's all about those 1,000-brick wall everywhere, be it in relationships, be it in yourself. The more you start seeing the 998 bricks on the wall, you will be able to cherish every relationship of your life. And you will also feel the worth, the self-worth, and you will start building a society that's also worth living in. So I think the lines that all of us have to look back is to adopt a spiritual practice, to catch your breath, to be able to know which part of you are you focusing on, right? And to know that while you focus on those 2 bad bricks, you will actually not grow. Yeah, so adopt a spiritual practice, and I have shared what I've written over here, that for your personal growth, we have to walk towards a path that is to focus on your innate skills, on your inherent qualities that make you. You know, each one of us are born with our own seeds. You know, mango seed can only grow a mango tree. Watermelon seeds grow watermelon. So what's your seed? Who am I? Find your inherent callings. And that, you know, makes the world stronger, your unique feature, you know, stand out, and you can become the architect of your life.
Geetanjali, I just wanted to share that
Yes, Pratibha.
finding your innate qualities. So before finding your innate qualities, I felt that self-compassion, like
Yes.
loving yourself, is very essential. Only then you will think about think yourself as capable and having some innate qualities. So I just wanted to share that during the meditation, I felt that hugging myself was so very essential. So when I hugged myself, I felt so accepted, and I just was telling myself it's okay. So everything is okay. And then I really felt empowered. So that was a very beautiful feeling, which I was drowned in. So thank you so much.
Very true, Pratibha, you brought a very valid point. It's important to first accept yourself, become compassionate towards yourself, to have the deep listening and speaking process with yourself, and be kind to yourself. And then you can walk, because I think that's when you break all the barriers, and then you can walk ahead to finding your inherent qualities. It's there, you see, it's always, the world is there calling out for you. Your voice is there calling out for you. You just have to, you know, start moving towards it. That's where we began, right? The day you were born.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording.